Hello, my name is Todd Crouthamel, and this is my ABE 205 project for Visual Basic. And I decided to do a joke finder where you can search for a joke, or it will tell you a random joke named after Loki, the Norse god of mischief. So let's see how the program works. I have two buttons here. One is find a joke, one is a random joke. So let's push find a joke. And that brings you to this page where you can enter your name. You can pick the joke format that you want. You can pick the type of joke that you want. And you can either view your search with the button on the left here. The middle button is go to my jokes, which will take you a page where you can search through jokes that you want to see. And then this last button is exit to main, which when you press it, takes you back to the main page. So we'll click on this again, and we'll enter a name. And so when you press view my search without having any of the boxes, option boxes, or check boxes checked, a message box comes up and tells you that you have to select a format. And the same goes with when you try to go to the joke search page. So we'll click on one-liners here, and you view a search, and another message box comes up and says you have to select a type because you haven't selected type. And the same goes when you try to go to the joke search page. So we'll select a type, and we'll select adults only as well, and you can see a pop-up box comes up that you have to confirm that you're 18 years old. And if you don't check that, you view your search and it says sorry, you have to be 18. And the same with the go to my jokes. So we'll click on that, and when you do view my search, you can see it says your name, and it tells you what kind of jokes you want to look at and the types of jokes you want to look at, and then confirms yes, you're 18. So let's unclick these, and we're going to search for clean one-liners. So we view my search, it says yes, I want to see clean one-liners. So we'll go to my jokes, and on the top here you can see it prints your name. Hi there. And here is the instructions for what you're supposed to do. You can choose a joke from the list and either just view it, or you can view and rate it against an audience. So I have the three buttons on the bottom here. The view joke will take you to a page where you can just view your joke. The second button, view and rate joke, will take you to a page where you can rate your joke against an audience based on age. And then you can go to the exit main, which will take you back to the main page. So we'll go to the combo box here, and you can see the jokes are all listed on the combo box. So we'll just click on one, and the first thing we'll do is just go to the view joke. So that form closes and this form opens up, and it has your name up on the top here, and it prints your joke in the box, in the text box. And we have two buttons, either exit to main, which will take you back to the main page, or try again if you want to try another joke. So we'll click that, and it takes you back to the search page. So enter in the name, we'll click on the one-liners and clean again. We'll go to the search page, and again we'll pick a joke, and this time we'll go to the view and rate joke. So that form closes, this form comes up and says here we go, we're going to rate this joke. Your joke is printed in the box, and now you can test it against your audience. You're going to tell it to kids, you're going to tell it to adults. So let's say we're going to tell it to adults, and then you push the button and it tells you if they're going to laugh. And no, that joke wasn't funny. Adults don't like kids' jokes. It's just, they're just dumb. So we'll exit to main, and this time we'll do the random jokes. So this one comes up, and it's a joke randomizer, which is searches for jokes based on age, whether you're over 18 or under 18. So we'll put a name in the box here, and let's say you can search for under 18, over 18, or you can do both. So let's do under 18, and we'll go to the find joke, and you can see that it's blank here, and that's just the way that the random joke search is set up. So that's why I have this button here that says no joke, try again. And you push this button, it'll take you back to the main page, the search page again. So you enter in your name, and we'll say under 18 again. You go to find my joke, and now you have a joke in there. So the buttons on the bottom here, you can either do the left button here, which is rate joke, which takes you back to the rating page, and you can rate it against your audience, or the button on the right, which is exit to main, which will take you back to the main page. So we'll rate the joke, and this time we'll see how it does against kids. And will they laugh? You push the button, and oh yeah, it's hilarious. The kids love the joke. And so you press this button, and it exits you back to the main page. So that's basically how the joke finder works. It will. We didn't see all of the forms for rating. There's, kids like it, kids don't like it, adults like it, adults don't like it. But for the sake of time, I'm not going to go through all of them. But next here, let's look at our worksheets. This is, of course, the main worksheet that has the buttons on it. So the next worksheet here, this is where the joke searcher searches for jokes. You have all of your jokes in a list here: clean one-liners, PG one-liners, adult one-liners, and so on and so forth. And as you can see, the administrator, there's a bunch of lines here, so the administrator can continue to add jokes as long as all the way down here, and pretty much infinitely. There's, I think I left 500 spaces for in the array for able to search for jokes. So we'll go to the next page, which is the random search page. And this has lists all of your jokes that are under 18 for kids under 18, all the jokes that are over 18, and all the jokes period if you want to search for both. So what I have here in the left column, you can see it's numbered, straight numbers, and in the left column left of the jokes is random numbers. And in the column left of that, you see the number of 18. That's the number of jokes that are in this list. And that's also the number between the random number generator will generate the numbers between 1 and 36 on this side. So I'll show you when we get to the code. I'll show you how the randomizer works. But I have that for all of these jokes. You can see these jokes are numbered. On the left side, you have random numbers, and 18 is the number of jokes, and the same for all the jokes. And let's go to the information page. Actually, let's go back to this one. The number of jokes, the administrator has to enter the number when it says number of 1836. If they add a joke, they would have to change that to 37. So it would search through all the jokes. Let's go to the information page. And in this page, the top row here, it has the number of jokes. That's the number of jokes that are in the list on the search page. The administrator would have to change that as more jokes got added. And that's just, I have it set up like that just so that it searches through just the jokes that are there, and it doesn't go through the entire 500 cells just for the sake of time. This box is the name. It reads the name from the text box, and it will print it here so that the arrays for later forms can read it from there and display it. This is the joke search. There would be a number here when you search for jokes. I have the jokes read into the combo box from an array, and which is assigned a number. And this is the number that would show you, it would decide which list is going to be shown in the combo box, which I'll show you when we do the code later. And this is the joke. So when you select a joke, either randomly or from the search page, it prints it here so that later forms can read it from this box. Later forms have arrays that can read it from this box. So let's start looking at the code here. And first, we're going to go to the module. And as you can see in the module is the run and close for all the various forms that I have. The first one is, opens the joke search. The second one opens the random joke search, and so on and so forth, all the way through all of the forms that we have. So we're going to go through this kind of like we did when I was showing you how the program worked. So first, we're going to do the search page, which is the finder, and we'll view the code. And as you can see, the first subroutine here is a private subroutine for initializing. What this does is this clears the contents on the information page that I showed you so that you don't use information from previous searches. And then The checkbox 3 change is the subroutine right under it. And that subroutine is the one that if the adult checkbox is checked, the I'm 18 checkbox will be visible or not visible according to that. Just below that, we have the command buttons. Command button 1, which is the search, view my search button, is the false for the Boolean. The true for the Boolean is the one that takes you to your search page, and the exit button closes the finder. So we have the Boolean subroutine here, and as you can see, I have an array for reading and writing jokes and other information, and then I have the strings for displaying the information and a string for displaying in a message box. So the first thing here will display the contents of will display the search depending on what checkbox is checked, and below that what option button is displayed. Then we have the age here, which will say that you're 18 if the checkbox number 4 is checked. And then here I have, if option 1, it's if then statement, and if it's 2 if then statements. Main if then statement is if option button 1 is checked, which is for the one-liners, and then below that I have if then statements for all the assigned values for the checkboxes. So if you want to do a search for clean, and you want to do, let's see, the first one here is checkbox where all the checkboxes are checked, which is clean, PG, and adult jokes. And as you can see in C search 6, I have a number assigned, and that array will be read to the information page in the yellow box that I showed you, and that is how from the next page, that's how we'll decide which jokes will be displayed in the combo box. So I have those all the way down for option button 1, and then the same thing here for option button 3, and the same thing here for option button 4. And you can see at the bottom of all these lists, if no checkbox is checked, then it'll tell you must select a joke type. And here I have an if-then statement for if none of the option buttons are pushed, and that will tell you need to select a joke format. And down here I have the information for the message box. And if save is true, it prints your name and the joke information to the information worksheet, closes the finder, and then will open up the joke selection page. If it's not true, it'll just display a message box with the data in it, and anything else the same thing will display the message box without the data in it. So the next we'll go to where you would select your joke. That's this page. We'll review the code. So the first one I have here is the Boolean, and this has an array which will read the joke from the string, and this is the string which reads the joke from the combo box. So here I have a combo box, so when you select a joke from the combo box, it becomes X joke, which then is read by the array. So if it's true, the joke is read to the information page, and it closes the joke page, and it runs the viewer. If it's false, it reads the joke to the information page again, it closes the jokes, and it'll run the rater instead of the joke viewer. So here's the command buttons. The first one is the true Boolean, the second one is the false Boolean. The first one is for the viewer, the second one is the button you would push to go to the rater, and the third one is the one that you do just to exit. So this is the initialize form, which will tells the program what to write to the combo boxes when you're searching for jokes. As you can see, I have the list jokes is a number. That's the number of jokes listed in the information page on the top row that the administrator would change. This is an array for reading the list joke. As you can see, I have it set to 2,000, so you can put as many as 2,000 jokes in there, and it will read them all. I have the names and number of jokes. I have the names as a string and the number of jokes as a long. And then I have I, J, and A, which is 3 different integers for the arrays reading jokes. And here I have the names equals, it reads the name that you have entered from the information worksheet. It reads the joke from the information worksheet, and it reads the number of jokes from the information worksheet. So here I have an if-then statement, a for next with an if-then statement inside of it, for next loop with an if-then statement. And this, as you can see, if the list jokes equals 1, if it equals 2, if it equals 3, those were the numbers from the previous page. And then if it's, say it's number 1, then show the array reads the list, the appropriate list. So this would be, I think, clean jokes. This would just read the clean one-liners, and it goes on all the way down for all of them for A. And as you can see down at the bottom, it says combo bucks add item, and that's where it would write the jokes into the combo box. And this whole one is if only one list is needed. And down here, if there's more than one list, then this second one would, which is the J's, would add a second list to the combo box. As you can see down here on the bottom, it says combo box add item so jokes J, which would add a second list after the initial list. And then I have a third one down here. If there's more than 2 lists that need to be listed in the combo box, then it's going to list them. And that's how that one works. And of course, down here at the bottom, it says if nothing is, if no jokes, if no number is assigned, then it's going to say absolutely nothing. So we'll say you wanted to just view the joke. So we'll go to the joke viewer, view the code. As you can see here, the first one is the command button. That would exit the page back to the main page. The second one is the try again button, so it closes the joke viewer and opens up the finder again. And the initialize form, I have name and the joke as a string. They're defined where the name and the joke are read off the information worksheet, and then they are displayed in the text box. Okay, so let's say you wanted to go to the rater instead. This is the rater. We'll view the code for that one. So the first one is the command button 1, which says to go ahead and rate the joke, and that's the true Boolean. The second one is the one that exits you back to the main page. So the third one is the initialize, and this just will dims the joke and enter name, the joke that's the random joke and the name, and it reads them from the worksheet and then displays them in the text box. And then for the Boolean, we have the first string is the dimension for the selected joke. These two are arrays for reading joke lists, and these three we have integers and stuff for rater displays. And here we have the number of jokes in the worksheet, which is from the random search page. So as you can see, I have a do until loop, for next do until loop with an if then statement in it. And what this does is this reads the jokes from the appropriate cells, the array does, and then when the array, whenever there's, as soon as one of those jokes equals the joke that's read, that their selected joke that's read from the worksheet, then it displays the appropriate, it assigns it a number, which in the end will display the appropriate rating. And I have that for all of them. And then when you get down to the bottom here, you can see if you don't choose either of the options, it's just going to show a message box that says you must choose an option. And here is all the different, and when you press save, if the display is number 1, then it runs the kids like it. If it's number 2, it runs the kids hate it, and so on and so forth. So let's go to the random page if you wanted to select a random joke and view the code there. So the code here is, the first one is the command button which is the true for the Boolean. The second one is the command button that will exit you back to the main page. This third one, for the random numbers that I showed you in the worksheet, between 1 and 36 or 1 and 18 or whatever, what this does is refreshes those columns every time the random search page is run. Those columns refresh with new random numbers, so that every time that you run it, you get a different joke. And unfortunately, that's one of the problems with this one, is not always will, especially when you get to higher numbers, are they going to match, which is why sometimes you have to do it more than once. So here we have the find random as Boolean. This clears the contents so that you don't do any random searches with previous information. Then I have some arrays here that will read the search numbers and the jokes, and so on and so forth. So here, the number of kids, this is reads the number of kids jokes, this reads the number of adult jokes, and this reads the number of all jokes from the appropriate boxes in the random search worksheet. So here I have a more if then, for next, do until loops, and this one will read through all of the jokes, and when the number, it reads the jokes, actually it reads the number in the right column, then it reads the number in the left column, and when those numbers match, then the array reads the joke in the column that it has the appropriate number in it. So say it's the third joke and that matches the random number 3, it's going to read the joke in the third row, and then it writes that joke to the appropriate place. And I have that for all the checkboxes, all the values. And the last thing is just the raters, and all of these, for the sake of time, I'm not going to go through them all, but all they have is the command button that closes the form. And so that's my joke finder. Hope you enjoyed it. I did. Thanks.